And over to Suzanne from the campaign against climate change.
Thank you. Thanks very much. So I might have to sit down because I'm not sure I can read and hold this at the same time. So I'll give it a go standing up. Can I first of all definitely start by, there's a fair few, we've done some fair few thanks today, but we're going to have to keep going with the thanks. I would absolutely like to start by thanking UCU, UCL, Sean Wallace, who really good chair of the branch here. Thank you so much for agreeing with us to have this joint session today and for helping facilitate the whole of our Campaign Against Climate Change national meeting and our AGM. So thank you very much, and please can we give everybody a clap for doing that. It's symbolic, if you like, of what has happened this year, and that greater synergy between the trade union movement and the climate movement and the huge opportunities that opens up for us. It was a fantastic start to today, this morning. It was a great start for climate activists up and down the UK, because we got the news this morning that there is fracking is going to be banned, or and that is just absolutely amazing. And I want to pay tribute to, we have an amazing climate movement in the UK and globally, but I want to pay tribute to the anti-fracking activists in the UK who have been doing this campaign, who have put their bodies in the line against the fracking equipment, who've shown enormous bravery and resilience, and it is to them that this victory is owed. It's a victory for all the etc. And just unless Johnson's announced this ban, we all know it's an opportunity. It shows you the power of the movement, doesn't it? It shows you that we can win. The idea that Boris Johnson would have been announcing a ban on fracking as a vote winner, it really tells you the power of this movement. Because this is what Johnson had to say about fracking. He described fracking as glorious news for humanity. Touch the trumps there, I think. And it is outrageous because since the Tory government, the coalition, the Tory government, I should say, pushed fracking, have been pushing fracking in the UK, £32.7 million has been spent supporting fracking without producing any energy whatsoever. £32.7 million. And those of us who work in the public sector, think about what that money could be. Or let's put it another way, think about if that investment had gone into renewable industries and renewable energy from 2011 onwards. I mean, as everyone said, it is quite extraordinary, it's quite difficult to remember what the climate movement was like only a year ago. This time, literally, I like the way James put it, his story being the story of this year. Literally, I remember this time last year, and we had a lovely session, which Claire, our National Campaigns Organiser there, led off in the start of our AGM, where she has put together, they're on our website by the way, it's a wonderful collection of photographs taking us through the story of the last year, and particularly the 20th of September. And one of the pictures that Claire had on our display was a picture of our demonstration, Campaign Against Climate Change demonstration, this time last year, December last year, around the time of the Polish COP. And there was a lovely picture from the front of the demonstration, and you could just see in the picture a couple of school students who then went on to initiate and lead the climate movement, the Climate UK school students movement in the UK. And the idea that was less than a year ago is quite extraordinary when you think about it. So it is an extraordinary movement that's developed. XR, the Global Climate Suite, has given us hope, and that is absolutely crucial. Greta Thunberg, I would like to pay tribute to Greta Thunberg. I don't think we should be embarrassed to do this. Why are we embarrassed to say that? Her cases and what she has done. She has not asked for the moniker that the right-wing press put on her as saviour. That's not what she has said. She is absolutely clear about the nature of the movement that we need to build. So let's not line up and accept the narrative of the right-wing press. She's not asked to be a saviour. She's not a saviour, but she is the most amazing leader of a global climate movement that we should be proud to take our place alongside her. And when you look at the attack on Greta Thunberg, this is what it's about. And all the young people that have stood alongside Greta since then, Mask and Keir at the back of the room, just amazing people. But what are they doing? Every time that Greta Thunberg is attacked, what they are saying, they are attacking young people who are willing to stand up against the power. That's what they're doing. Every attack on her is an attack on every young person who wants to stand up against the system. And they are also attacking what the young people have done. And I don't know whether it was Sean's line or it was my line, but I kind of think it might be Sean's line. But I would like to pay tribute because they have reminded us of the power of collective action. And they've reminded us that we can win. And that is absolutely crucial at this urgent time. And the young people have done this. They're attacking this. They have popularised the following ideas. The young people, and given us inspiration. They popularised that it is a climate emergency, that it is not acceptable to not do anything, and that is what is happening at this moment in time. Nothing is happening to tackle the climate emergency. They have popularised the idea that those in power have failed to act. They have popularised the idea that those in power have put their own narrow sectarian interest of profit over the lives of young people, our future and the planet that we live on. They have popularised that idea, and they have also popularised that if those in power will not act, then they are going to be moved out of power to allow the rest of us to take the action that we need. Amazing spirit of resistance and rebellion. So it's a key, I think it's a key moment. It's a key historic moment. That's what we are living through at this moment in time. And the events in Chile that Maskin mentioned really symbolise that spirit of rebellion and resistance that is happening around the world. For those of you who are aware, the COP, the UN talks, were supposed to be happening in Chile. They are not happening in Chile because of that growing resistance, the general strike that is taking place in Chile. One of the things I want us to do today is to send our solidarity to the people of Chile, to the world people of 20 years, and it was led once again by young people who came on the streets against those metro fare rises. Once again, we owe our debt of gratitude to young people who are fighting for a world that we can all live in. The COP moves to Madrid. And as one person, Chris, pointed out, Madrid, yes, free of any kind of social strife at this moment in time. So we do have to think about how we show our solidarity to the global south, where the COP is no longer taking place. We do have to think about how we do that. And we also have to think about something else that I've forgotten. Okay, so the IPCC report, we're all familiar with the IPCC report, I've mentioned it, in October of last year. It clearly identified we need to reduce our emissions. 2018, the report came out, by 50%, or 50% annually, by 2030. That's where the 12 years comes from, and it's meaningful. Why is it meaningful? Because being able to do that, if we were doing that, then we would stand a fighting chance, and only a fighting chance, of staying below 1.5 degrees. And why is that important? Because that is millions of people's lives. If we cannot stay below 1.5 degrees, that is millions of people's lives that are being thrown away, that are being destroyed in the pursuit of the fossil fuels profits and industry. So it's absolutely crucial that we grasp the urgency of it. But we're not doing anything, or those in power have not done anything. And tell you something else I think we have to stop doing, if we do it, is to blame India and China to keep passing the buck for this problem. We have to stop doing that. This is a problem of our making in terms of the wealthier parts of the world. We have an historic legacy. And do you know what? I want to mention, I want to mention this. When we talk about climate justice, can we just, for a minute, just have a think about the real people, the real faces, the real names. Those 39 people that died in the back of a lorry a couple of weeks ago, I presume that you felt like I did when you heard that news of the sheer sort of misery that we are able to live in a world in which people are trying to get to the other side of the world and cannot do so. They're trapped and they die those extraordinary deaths. Dig a little bit deeper. Those people were from Vietnam. The news first of all hit that it was the people from China. Actually, when you think about it, you weren't shocked. Wow, people from China. So all that kind of, a misunderstanding of somehow that these people are grasping, actually it didn't shock them, but they weren't. They were from Vietnam. And they were from an area of Vietnam in which a disproportionate number of people have tried to leave because of huge environmental degradation. It's a specific area in which there has been a toxic spill from from a Taiwanese steel company, no doubt making the steel to produce the goods that are exported back to the West, with no account at all for our emissions, and it's a toxic spill in which cyanide has destroyed the environment and destroyed the livelihoods of the people that live there. The fishing is a huge fishing community. That's what our system looks like. They are the real people when we talk about climate justice that suffer those impacts. We must ensure that the blame and the responsibility is not pointed in the direction of those people, and we know where to point the blame and responsibility. It's at those at the top of society who refuse to take the action that we need to take. Climate justice has to be central to our movement. I'm going to finish on two. I'm going to finish on 2 points. Okay. So Martin said it, everybody has said it about what we need to do. Look, we've got a whole. We're a part of a huge movement now. We've got a huge agenda in front of us. It's an exciting place to be. We have the 29th of November, and I would like to thank UCU. I'd like to thank them for that motion. I'd like to thank them for the way they conducted that motion and put it out there so the rest of the trade union movement could support that motion before it went into the chambers of the TUC and got mangled. It's been an expiring thing. So we've got the 29th to campaign for. We've got to get people on the streets. It's transformed by the fact that UCU voted for action. It makes it a very, very different day. But we also have, and we've got the COP in Glasgow next year to mobilise for, but we also have something else to do. People have mentioned it. Between now and December the 12th, we have to make sure, we have to play our part in making sure that Boris Johnson's climate-wrecking government is not re-elected and is not in place on the 12th of December. Can I finish on this, James? Look, we all know the limitations of governments in power, and we all know the pressures that governments in power are under. Governments of the progressive left, when they're in power, are under. But I do want to say this. The policies that are in place in terms of the Labour Party, for example, that they are campaigning on at this moment in time, are a reflection of the movement. I think that's really, really important. The Labour Party would not have those policies if it hadn't been for a growing climate movement, if it hadn't been for the work of trade unions calling for climate jobs and whatever. And because of those things now, there are some seriously progressive policies in place. So there is a difference. There is a massive difference between what government takes power on the 12th of December. We have to be absolutely clear. We elect a Labour government on the 12th of December. It opens up the possibilities for us starting to deliver the kind of action that we know that we need to deliver. We all know that that is not the end of it, and we all know that we have to build a movement capable of delivering that action. But make no mistake about it, the 12th of December is a key date, and we have to throw everything we can to making sure that we have Boris Johnson out of number 10. So join us in the global climate movement. Thank you very much for inviting Campaign Against Climate Change to be part of this session today. I look forward to hearing what all the delegates from both organisations have to contribute to the discussion this afternoon. Thanks very much, everyone.